Welcome to the Handyman Pros Radio Show. Home improvement and maintenance tips from the pros.
Welcome to the Handyman Pros Radio Show Action Edition, where we feature an actionable tip you can use today. And I'm here with my old buddy, Larry. Hey, Larry, what's been going on?
Well, John, it's I did some LVP flooring this week. I like doing LVP. Yeah, I know. It's kind of fun, actually. It really can change the look of your house in any way. But I poke around on a lot of the DIY sites just because I try to give, decent advice out there when I can. And I actually saw one of the posts on a DIY site this week that came up, and it's appropriate because I was doing LVP. I was really oh, look, LVP. It was kind of top of mind. But this participant... And
let's make sure everybody understands. LVP is...
Luxury vinyl plank. Or luxury vinyl tile.
Okay.
Yeah, LVT, LVP.
Yep.
Sort of interchangeable. But anyway, this participant of this DIY site had done their first LVP job, and they were asking for an opinion, and they posted some pictures. And basically what they had is they had their joints lined up on the flooring, right? So where the planks are all basically a uniform length. In my case, they were 4-foot planks. But folks, I guess the tip is, and we'll get to this, is that you don't lay your planks with the joints doing this. Now, as we say this, we also want to refer to this that you do this anytime you're laying pretty much anything, right, John? So if you're doing a deck or you're doing hardwood or you're doing LVP or you're doing even plywood.
Yeah, the joints shouldn't line up for a couple of factors, right?
Yeah, even if
one is strength and the other is looks.
Is looks. Yeah, it's kind of a combination of both strength and looks. And so when I saw this, I was like, oh, it's so sad because they really are going to need to take the floor up and basically redo it. And actually, Larry, let me pause you there a second. Is that I saw that picture. Yep.
That you sent to me, and they could pick part of that. They could pick that floor up and just and stagger. Those joints need to be staggered.
Correct.
Okay, and they could do that if they have another couple pieces of that flooring left over. Is to shorten some things up here and move those joints around a little bit.
Right.
Now, if you did that with hardwood, that would be a little bit different.
It's a little more difficult.
But with LVP, the luxury vinyl planking, you can pretty much pick it back up and do it. But it just when I first looked at it, it really did. What caught my eye, and the first thing that caught my eye was the joints being lined up, and so. Folks, if you're out there and if you don't know what that looks like, it's just the joints can't be too close. And usually, kind of the rule of thumb is when you put down like a hardwood or whatever, and there should be at least 6 inches from one joint on one row to the next, so that they don't meet. You know what I mean?
Right. And so here, one of our first part of this quick tip is. This is all explained in the instructions for installation. So, and I know this because I took the LVP I put down this week. I actually read the instructions because I have learned from hard experience, folks, that you just need to peruse through the instructions, right? Because you'd be amazed.
What you can learn.
What you can learn. That's exactly right. And if you read the instructions on most LVP, they actually want a 12-inch stagger. So you have to have 12 inches in general on the stagger. And to John's point, definitely at least 6 inches for sure. You cannot have them lined up. It's done for rigidity and strength, and it's also done for looks. And it's also if you put everything in one place, it's where water collects, it's where dust collects. There's a lot of reasons to have it staggered. But it's the same thing if you're out there and you're doing hardwoods or you're decking out on your deck. You don't want the joints lined up because for strength, all your weight comes in the same place. So it's a failure point is what it is. So that's probably the tip of the week is make sure you A, read the instructions, B, stagger your joints, and then I'm going to add one last thing, right, John? Plan for about 10% waste, right? So if you're doing any kind of job, you better figure you're going to need about 10% more because this particular person said, well, they were doing it to save material, and I'm like, yeah, but you created a whole separate issue here.
Yeah, so whatever you wanted to save there, by the time you go back and do it right, you don't have 10% waste now.
No, you don't. You'll
got about
actually have
20.
more. Yeah, you'll actually have more.
So
all right. Anything else on that, John? Just as a quickie, as a quick one out there.
no. I've put down a lot of flooring in the past, and it's just don't line up the joints. Don't even get them close either. I will tell you that the further away from each one, it just looks so much better.
Looks so much better.
and just for the strength too. So
yep.
Good tip.
Perfect. Don't forget to join our Facebook group at Handyman Pros. You can send us emails, questions at handymanprosradioshow.com. You can actually leave us a voice message on handymanprosradioshow.com, or you can join us on Twitter at Handyman Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've enjoyed this podcast and have derived some value from it, here's 4 things you can do. 1, tell your friends about this podcast. 2, hit subscribe on your podcast player. While you're there, leave us a review. 3, subscribe to our newsletter by going to handymanprosradioshow.com and click on the subscribe button. We'll inform you of upcoming events, shows, and give you actionable tips for maintaining your home and property. And 4, send us an email with your questions to questions@handymanprosradioshow.com. That's handymanprosradioshow.com. That's our show for this week. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week on the Handyman Pros Radio Show.